Imagine waking up on a luxury cruise ship in the middle of the Caribbean. The ocean stretches endlessly in every direction. Thousands of passengers are asleep as the ship quietly approaches its next destination. You glance toward your daughter's balcony. Just 30 minutes ago, she was sitting there, enjoying the sunrise. Now, she's gone. No signs of a struggle. No goodbye. No body. More than 25 years later, investigators still don't know whether Amy Lynn Bradley accidentally fell into the sea or disappeared under far more sinister circumstances. This is the mysterious disappearance of Amy Lynn Bradley. Amy Lynn Bradley was a 23-year-old graduate from Virginia. Friends and family described her as athletic, independent, and full of life. She loved basketball, traveling, and spending time with her family. In March 1998, Amy joined her parents, Ron and Ivor, and her younger brother, Brad, on what was supposed to be a relaxing Caribbean vacation aboard the Royal Caribbean cruise ship, Rhapsody of the Seas. The family had no idea the trip would become an international mystery that remains unsolved to this day. On the evening of March the 23rd, Amy and her brother visited one of the ship's nightclubs where they danced and enjoyed live music. Several passengers later remembered seeing Amy talking and dancing with members of the ship's band, including bassist Alistair "Yellow" Douglas. Around 1 a.m., Amy and Brad returned to the family's cabin. The two siblings sat together on the private balcony, talking for a while before Brad went to bed. Amy decided to stay outside a little longer, enjoying the warm Caribbean air. At approximately 5:15 a.m., Amy's father briefly woke up and saw her resting peacefully on the balcony. Believing everything was fine, he went back to sleep. When he woke again about 30 minutes later, Amy had vanished. At first, her family assumed Amy had gone for an early morning walk or stopped for coffee. But as time passed, panic set in. Amy's shoes were still in the cabin. Her passport, identification, money, and most of her belongings had been left behind. Only her cigarettes and lighter appeared to be missing. Ron Bradley immediately alerted the ship's crew and pleaded with them not to allow passengers to leave once the ship reached Curaçao. He feared that if Amy had been abducted, whoever was responsible could simply walk off the ship. According to the Bradley family, the ship still allowed passengers to disembark before a complete search had been conducted. That decision has remained one of the most controversial aspects of the investigation. Despite extensive searches of the ship, Amy was nowhere to be found. Investigators considered the possibility that Amy had accidentally fallen overboard. However, her family strongly questioned that theory. Amy was athletic and coordinated, and the balcony railings were high enough that accidentally falling over them would have been difficult. No one reported hearing a splash. No passengers reported cries for help. Search aircraft and rescue teams found no trace of Amy in the water. Investigators also interviewed crew members, including Alistair Douglas. Although he was among the last people known to have interacted with Amy, authorities found no evidence linking him to her disappearance. He has consistently denied any involvement and has never been charged. With no surveillance footage capturing Amy's final movements, investigators quickly reached a dead end. Then came reports that changed the direction of the investigation. A Canadian tourist later claimed to to have seen a woman matching Amy's description on a beach in Curaçao shortly after the cruise arrived. Several years later, a US Navy sailor reported meeting a distressed woman in a brothel who identified herself as Amy Bradley. According to his account, she begged him for help before two men escorted her away. He said he was afraid to report the encounter at the time, but later contacted authorities. In another development, investigators examined a photograph known as the Jazz photo, which showed a woman who bore a striking resemblance to Amy. While some believed it could be her, investigators were never able to confirm the woman's identity. Despite these reported sightings, none have ever been verified. Over the years, three main theories have emerged. The first is that Amy accidentally fell overboard. The second is that she took her own life. However, her family strongly rejects both possibilities, pointing to her plans for the future and the lack of evidence supporting either theory. The third, and perhaps most debated, theory is that Amy was abducted from the ship and later trafficked after arriving in Curaçao. This theory is supported mainly by the reported sightings over the years. However, investigators have never found enough evidence to confirm it. No theory has ever been proven. More than 25 years later, Amy Lynn Bradley has never been found. No one has been arrested. No one has been charged. The FBI continues to classify the case as an active missing person investigation, and Amy's family has never stopped searching for answers. Her disappearance remains one of the most baffling mysteries ever to occur aboard a cruise ship. A family vacation, a quiet sunrise, a daughter seen relaxing on a balcony, and just 30 minutes later, she was gone. Did Amy Lynn Bradley accidentally fall into the Caribbean Sea? Was she abducted before the ship reached port? Or does someone somewhere still know exactly what happened that morning? Until those questions are answered, the disappearance of Amy Lynn Bradley remains one of the world's most haunting, unsolved mysteries. What do you think happened to Amy Lynn Bradley? Do you believe she fell overboard, or do you think she was taken from the ship before it reached port? Share your respectful thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoy carefully researched documentaries on real missing person cases and unsolved mysteries, subscribe to Mystery Path and turn on notifications. Every story we share keeps a missing person's name alive. And sometimes, keeping a case in the public eye is exactly what helps bring long-awaited answers. Until next time, stay aware, stay curious, and never stop seeking the truth.